Canada hosted a World Cup game for the first time in history tonight. 43,000 fans inside BMO Field in Toronto. An entire nation holding its breath. And their best striker, from 12 yards out, with the goal wide open, fired it straight at the goalkeeper. That one moment tells you everything you need to know about Canada tonight. They did not lose. But honestly, they should have won by 3 goals. And the fact that they only drew 1-1 against Bosnia and Herzegovina is one of the most frustrating performances I have seen at this World Cup so far. Let me take you through exactly what happened. Every missed chance, every save, every heart-stopping moment. And I am going to give you my completely honest verdict on whether Canada should be celebrating this point or absolutely furious they did not take 3. The atmosphere in Toronto tonight was something else. This was not just another football match. This was a historic moment for an entire country. Canada's first ever men's World Cup game on home soil. 43,002 fans packed into BMO Field singing, screaming, believing. The noise was unreal. The emotion was everywhere. And then Bosnia and Herzegovina arrived and showed immediately that they did not care about the occasion at all. Because in the 21st minute, Bosnia did exactly what underdogs do at World Cups. They hit Canada with a sucker punch. Cyle Larin rose highest from a corner, headed the ball back cleverly across the 6-yard box, and Jovo Lukic was there, perfectly positioned, to glance a header into the net. 1-0 Bosnia. The stadium went quiet. The underdog had punched the host nation right in the face, on their own soil, in front of their own people. But here is where my genuine frustration with Canada begins. Because from that moment, Canada had every chance to get straight back into this game. In the 17th minute, before the Bosnia goal even happened, Jonathan David had the best opportunity of the entire match. Canada's record scorer, the man who scores goals constantly at club level. He received the ball 12 yards from goal. The keeper slightly off his line, goal at his mercy, and he fired it straight at the goalkeeper, straight at him. Not wide, not over, straight into the goalkeeper's chest. That kind of miss does not just cost you a goal. It costs you confidence. It costs you momentum. And at a World Cup, on home soil, you cannot afford to miss chances like that. Then Tani Oluwaseyi found himself completely free inside the box, the goal in front of him, and blazed his shot completely over the crossbar. Over the crossbar. From inside the penalty area. I was shaking my head watching that. And then came the most dramatic moment of the entire first half. 53rd minute. Cyle Larin's shot had the Bosnia goalkeeper completely beaten. The ball was going into the net, and Kolasinac appeared from absolutely nowhere and cleared the ball off the crossbar. Off the crossbar. If that ball goes in, Canada are level, and the momentum swings completely. But it did not go in, and Bosnia went into halftime, still leading. The second half continued in the same way. Canada pressing. Bosnia defending with their lives. Chance after chance going to waste. Bosnia defender Nikola Katic made another vital clearance to deny Oluwaseyi. Canada were knocking and knocking, but the door would not open. The frustration inside BMO Field was building with every passing minute. And then, 78th minute, Jesse Marsch made the substitution that changed everything. Cyle Larin came on. He had been watching from the bench, waiting, knowing his moment would come. And he had been on the pitch for less than 2 minutes when he received the ball at the edge of the box, turned, and fired a shot that deflected off a defender and flew into the bottom corner. 1-1. And BMO Field absolutely exploded. But wait, let me tell you exactly why that goal was bigger than just an equalizer. Cyle Larin just scored only the second goal ever by a Canadian player at a World Cup. The second. In the entire history of Canadian men's football. This is a country that has barely existed at this tournament, and that deflected shot from a substitute was only the second time a Canadian had ever scored at a World Cup. That is how special that moment was for an entire generation of Canadian football fans. Canada pushed desperately for a winner in the final minutes. Larin had another chance, blocked on the line by a Bosnian defender. The clock ran down, and the final whistle blew. 1-1, a draw, 1 point each. So let me give you my honest breakdown, team by team. Canada played well enough to win this match. 61% possession, more shots, more corners, more pressure throughout. Bosnia had 1 shot on target in the entire 90 minutes. 1. And yet Bosnia left Toronto with a point. That is what happens when you cannot finish your chances at a World Cup. But here is my completely honest take on Jonathan David. And I know this is going to upset some Canada fans. He is your best player, your record scorer, your biggest name. Tonight was the biggest night in Canadian football history, and he was invisible. One chance, straight at the goalkeeper, nothing else. At this level, when your country needs you most, your best player must deliver. Tonight he did not, and that is the honest truth, even if it is painful to say. Cyle Larin, on the other hand, 9 out of 10 from me. He came on as a substitute and scored a historic goal within 2 minutes. That is exactly what a World Cup substitute is supposed to do. He saved Canada's tournament opening night. Bosnia and Herzegovina deserve real credit tonight. They came to Toronto with a clear plan: defend deep, stay compact, hit on the counter, and they executed it almost perfectly. Kolasinac's goal line clearance was one of the best defensive moments of the tournament so far. Bosnia did not come here to entertain. They came here to compete, and they showed everyone they absolutely can. Now let me look at the bigger picture, because this draw has serious implications for Group B. Canada have 1 point. Bosnia have 1 point. The group is wide open. Canada still have everything to play for. But if Jonathan David keeps missing chances like tonight, and if Canada keep dominating games without winning them, this World Cup is going to be a very painful experience for the host nation. Because here is the brutal truth about hosting a World Cup. The pressure does not go away after the first game. It gets bigger. Every match, every mistake, every missed chance gets amplified in front of your own crowd. Canada need to fix their finishing urgently, or the home crowd that gave them so much energy tonight will turn into an unbearable weight around their necks. So now I want to hear from you. Was tonight a good point for Canada, or 2 points completely thrown away? And is Jonathan David good enough to lead this team at a World Cup? Be honest. Drop your answer in the comments right now, because this tournament is only getting bigger from here, and every match now matters more than the last. Subscribe right now. I broke down every moment of it, just like I did with the Brazil and South Africa match. Hit the video on the left to watch that one. The 2026 World Cup is already delivering more drama than I expected, and we have barely even started.